Today we're going to talk a little bit about something I'm doing with a lot right now. That's changes and transitions and all these things going on. I said, my wife will tell you, I don't love changes. I am not a person who the very first thing I want to do is like, let's change everything. Let's do something different. Let's, do all that. But I'm watching people because, of course, it's also graduation season. I've got friends that are going to do different things. And it's just kind of a different experience to have people change a lot. My son is graduating from fifth grade, going into middle school. So, of course, that's a huge transition for me, and I don't love that either. Um, the idea of like people moving and going on to different careers, which is shocking if you like looked at my work history, because you'd be like, you look like you love changes all the time. I have long bouts of time that I was at UCO for a decade, so I was there for a long time. I was at Golden Corral for like 4 years. I worked at all different spaces for a long time. But then there's other times I just kind of transitioned quick because I was like, well, it didn't work out, or it wasn't the space I needed to be in, or maybe it wasn't what I wanted to do. So even though I was afraid or fearful, I did it anyways. Like it was something I did anyways. So there's that. But I don't know. I'm just like not into it. Change is scary to me. I don't love it. I like to be grounded and rooted and know what's happening. I like control of my environment, and that is absolutely not a place to be. So the reality is, I get to suck it up, Buttercup, because guess what? I have to change anyways. Like, that's not an option. I don't get to decide, oh, I'm just not going to do that. So what do I do? Like, how do I make that happen when it is kind of scary? When it is like, wait a minute, what do you do when changes are happening? So the first thing that I have to do is I have to figure out, like, ahead of time, look at what is the impact going to be. So I'll look at it and go, okay, I do cost benefit analysis. I love cost benefit analysis. I think they're important. I think it's a way for you to figure out how to make a decision. If you can put all the things on there and put it on one side, all the things that are great on your benefit side, and all the things that it's going to cost you on the left side, and if there's an imbalance one way or the other, you know what to do. If there's a whole lot of benefits and very few costs, do it. If there is a whole lot of costs and not enough benefits, don't do it. But if there's some in between and it's like a half and half, then you have to figure out how can you make your costs a benefit. How can you take the things that are a deficit or an issue and make them a positive for you? So those things are fantastic. I do love that. I do it in simple as buying a car. When my wife and I were getting together, when we first started dating, I had huge questions, and I said I have all kinds of rules, and ultimately it was, hey, this is what I want, this is what I hope you want, and we sat and talked back and forth until we figured out that that's what we wanted, because that was a good foundation for our relationship, to say, hey, we're on the same page, we have a general idea of where we're going in the same direction, and sometimes it works fantastic, and sometimes, guess what, it's much harder. But ultimately, relationships are a constant state of change. Like, there's not anything, if it is consistent and you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're probably bored. So you don't want to do that. I don't want you to be bored in your relationship. So you need to get comfortable with changes, which I'm like, that's not always, again, fun. Change is not always fun, but it's something that needs to happen. Now, my city people, of course, if you guys have watched this for any period of time, my network, you know I'm constantly telling them we need to change and change and change and change, which you'd be like, look at me and be like, hey, you a liar, because you want your city to change all the time, which is kind of true. I do like the idea of evolution. I think evolution is important, but change is different to me. And evolution means that you've grown, you've learned, you've tried something new, you've seen whether it worked or not, you saw whether it would work for you or not, and then you tried it out and to see which one. Hello, thanks, Manny. So ultimately, I think evolution is very important. I think change is a little bit different. It can also be hoisted upon you, meaning that someone else can cause change or disruption. So if you lose your job, if you are not able to, get the thing that you want, then you have to deal with a setback. And setbacks are just challenges that you get to learn from. So ultimately, the things that I do well, I celebrate. The things that I have challenges, I also celebrate, because it allows me to learn who I am, what I'm about, and what's important to me. And I learn very quickly what's important to me by my challenges. So I do think that there's an important piece to all of this, and that is are you open to change? Now, I'm working on that. That is a work in progress. That yes, things are changing around me. Things always are changing around me. My careers, my jobs, I have been intransigent, or I have been stubborn, if you will, at times, to sit there and say, this is what I'm going to do, or this is the way I want it. And then I have to go back and be like, yeah, no, I have to do the way the company wants, or the way the school wants, or the way my bosses want. And then I learn to work within that framework. I learn to look at like what works and what doesn't. I work with students. So guess what? Human beings are different. They change, they do different things. It's always a dynamic environment. So a good chance for me to learn is to learn what that dynamic environment looks like, how a student reacts, and then how I can react with them, whether I need, and it's different. So when I'm looking at personality types, it's different. Some people are empaths, meaning that they want you to feel with them. Well, I'm not a feeler. My wife is, so I ultimately have to like figure out how to work that out. Now, at the same time, I have some people that are like very direct. They want a direct answer. Just tell me how it is, and that's the way I want to be handled. So then you deal with that person directly. I have some people, I've had military people where it's like it's more chain of command version of the way that you communicate. And I've had some people that it's like absolutely nonverbals, and you got to be careful about your nonverbal communication and what that looks like. So you're always dynamic and changing and learning and asking questions to figure out how you communicate with people individually. But again, communication is always changing. The way that we talk, what we say, the words we say, how to be respectful yet at the same time get your point across. Those are important ways that we have progressed and important ways that we have learned. And I think that ultimately we will continue to do that. My kids, as they learn new slang, I'm going to be like, that's going to be fun. So, my mother, that's where that eye color comes from. So ultimately, so yes, the good news about the fact that we deal with changes is that you become a flexible individual. You're able to have something sent your direction, and you're able to get over it, around it, through it, or be able to make it make sense for you and build on it. So my hope for everybody is that you will learn that changes and inevitability, it is going to happen. So ultimately, how do we get better at it? What can we do? Can we research the subject? Can we find out other people that have gone through changes? Can we have a mentor for change? Is there a possibility that you know somebody that's been through that experience and can guide you through it? Because I think that is incredibly important. We are in a very dynamic, fluid situation at this point. I think it is also important that we look back to our past and our history and listen to the stories. I love grandparents. Why do I love grandparents? Because grandparents tell stories, and grandparents have wisdom that they've gotten through the years. So I would listen to my grandparents. I listen to my parents about when they were young and what they did, and learn from it. And I try and learn, and the best advice I've ever gotten and that I take with me about my parents is that I take the best of my mom and the best of my dad, and then I try and make the best version of me. My hope is for my sons the same deal. I hope that they will take the best of me and the best of their mom, and they will make the best young men that we have. And I will be, if that is true, if that's what happens, then I know I will have been successful as a parent. To know that they have not recreated the crazy, not created all of my flaws and decided to make that their new thing, but ultimately to have created a life for themselves that is better than what I have. And that's what I want for my sons, is I want them to know that they're loved, know that they're cared for, know that they're respected, and that they have the opportunity to help others and to grow and to become incredible adults and to help society as a whole and be incredibly curious and learners. And if I can do that, if I have created young men that can do that, then I will sit back on my back porch with a cup of coffee and look at my life and say, things have gone well. Things have done well. And I mean, yes. Now understand, I'm feeling a little bit in my feels today because my fifth grader is graduating. So, and it's been a lot. We have worked hard to get him through this graduation. I deserve part of this. I'm just saying that right now. And if you don't believe me, just watch Boy Dad, the channel Boy Dad on my network. You can watch all the crazy things that I have gone through in the last couple of years, and you're going to be like, yep, yeah, he deserves that graduation. So I know it's been a little bit short, and I've been not just kind of speaking freely, and I hope that you are getting something out of it. I really do. But I hope that we all are walking through change together, because I think that's going to be a constant for all of us. And I look forward to that happening, and I cannot wait to celebrate changes with everybody out there. So if you're going through changes, know you have company. There are other people out there that are doing the same thing, and we will go get through it together. We'll be better on the other side, and I look forward to celebrating all of our changes together.